It has been another busy week when it comes to information. Believe me, from north to south, from east to west, it has really been a busy week with Samuel Eto'o feast being decorated by the funds of the northwest region of Cameroon. We got the news that he has been decorated as a Tumfor by the northwest funds. We equally know that some years back, the president of the republic was actually decorated by the Northwest Funds as the funds of funds. And then the Martinez Zogo saga, it was on the 17th of January 2 years ago that Martinez Zogo was brutally assassinated. 2 years on, who are the culprits? The matter is still in court. May the soul of Martinez Zogo continue to rest in peace as men and women of the press, of the media, are still looking or seeking for justice. And then media and debate. The National Communication Council wants professionalism. Joe Chebonken Kalabusi says there is no longer professionalism, be it within the men and women of the media or those that they invite, that we have to respect Republican values, especially as we are in an electoral year. We are talking the presidential elections 2025. And then who talks elections, talks politics, who talks politics equally talks religion, especially as we have seen some bishops coming out to say that it's time even for the devil to come on board because things are not moving. But the question is, should a bishop or can a bishop designate a presidential candidate? And then we equally have this sad news. David Abuema Choi is no more. The former minister, secretary general at the presidency, former governor. He was governor for the Northwest, governor for the Southwest provinces. And then we know that David Abuema Choi died at the age of 81 while being a member of the bilingualism commission. If we have an Anglophone who is perfectly bilingual, believe me, he is of course one of them. Same like Professor Edmond Bilowa that we have here on our panel tonight. Equally, Titin Well has equally passed on the prof. Those are the sad news that we had this week. The program is the Republican debate. We say thank you for choosing Camdis Television. We say good evening. And of course, we shall be back after the jingle. You know, in a program like this, as usual, I am not alone. I'm with men of caliber, substance, and equality. But I'll begin with him. He is the vice rector of the University of Yaoundé 1. He used to be in Yaoundé 2, but he's now in Yaoundé 1 in Guayaquil. They call him Professor Edmond Bilowa, the son of Mbam and Kim, the son of Cameroon, the wonder boy. He actually did wonder things in those days when he was still a student in the United States of America. But we are actually happy to have him with us tonight. Prof, the CBDM man, we say good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Clarkson. Since this is the first time that I'm appearing on your program,
after
since the beginning of the year.
The beginning of the year,
I would like to wish Happy New Year to your viewers.
Thank you.
To the CAM10 viewers, to my fellow panelists here. I would like to say that we are bereaved at the University of Yaoundé 1, especially in the Faculty of Arts, because we lost Fofi, who was a colleague, and we also lost Titinwell, who was also a colleague. You talked about Abuema Choi. I knew him very well. When I was a student in the US, I used to talk to him on the phone because he was Inspector General at the Ministry of Territorial Administration. And my mother knew him because my mother studied in Bafia, so she knew. And my grandmother was also Bafia. So she used to go to his office and call me on his phone. Okay, so it is very sad. Bomacho, his wife, was my colleague, Mathilde Zoa. She passed away a few years back. Okay, so we are very saddened by his sudden disappearance. He was there at the New York wishes to the president.
On Friday?
Yeah, I saw him on television.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised when I heard of his demise.
Oh, they call him, of course, Aboema Choi. A statesman that, of course, many Cameroonians, a greater majority of Cameroonians think he was really a hard-working Cameroonian. Aboema Choi, as we said, may his soul rest in perfect peace, the former governor for the Southwest and the Northwest, the former Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, former Minister,
former Secretary General
at the Prime Minister's Office,
former Minister of Higher Education.
Of Higher Education, of course. And now he was a member of the Bilingualism Commission chaired by Peter Mafani Musonge. Well, Titimwell, equally the prof, has equally passed on. He was with Elections Cameroon Elecam. He was a professor in the faculty of
sociology and anthropology.
Sociology and anthropology, faculty of arts, of course. Well, may the soul of this statesman equally rest in perfect peace. Equally with us is another chief. We have our chief here, Chief Ernest Akufo. When we talk major consultancy for the past 2 decades, we cannot talk it without mentioning the name of Ernest Akufo. He is equally a wonder boy coming from our wing. The Awing people are watching us all the way, not only from our wing, from the Northwest, but equally here in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. We say good evening to you, Ernest Akufo, and welcome to the Republican debate.
Thank you, Clarkson. It has always been a pleasure being on this panel. Good evening to the viewers and good evening to my co-panelists, especially the venerated Professor Edmond Biloua. I want to say it's with a heavy heart that I learned about the demise of His Excellency David Aboema Choi. And consequently, you see, that was an iconic and emblematic statesman. I want to believe that if we want to talk about Cameroonians who are bilingual perfectly, I want to cite him, and then of course our professor who is here.
Of course.
Yes, because well, I was taken aback when I saw a newspaper titled "The Francophone Statesman."
Who wanted to solve the Anglophone wahala.
I felt a little bad. Why must you use that word Francophone statesman?
He's a guidance post,
yes,
of course.
A guidance post. So he is a statesman and not a Francophone statesman.
Yeah.
All these issues of divide, I don't think they should be inflamed by the newspapers. So I felt too bad. May the families, the aggrieved families, may they take heart. Yes, equally to the families of Professor Titi Noel and the other colleague of Professor Fofier, Professor Fofier. Well, Tabi Clarkson, I won't say is the end time because these are mature people at 81, and then Titi Noel, I think 85, and then the other one, they have lived their time, and we can only pray for the peaceful repose of their souls in the bosom of the Almighty.
Okay. Well, we equally have another doctor with us. They call him Dr. Cho Waters. He has written a book titled Paul Biya, The Internal Hope of Cameroon. He is an economist. He is here with us tonight. Doc, we say good evening and welcome to the Republican debate.
I'm happy to be among your midst. I want to sincerely thank Camdis Television for inviting me. You know, since the beginning of New Year, I've not been here. I equally want to seize the opportunity to wish Happy New Year to Professor Edmond Biloua. We have not been together for a very long time because he was appointed to University of Yaoundé. One meet to elsewhere, and we have not been meeting, we have not been talking. I'm happy to meet him. Equally, Chief Enes Akufo. We are brothers that never meet, so you understand what it means. Then equally, I want to say that yes, I wrote a book about Paul Biya, the eternal hope of Cameroon, which means that we have to continue calling President Paul Biya to solve the Anglophone crisis, because what has been done before is not up to what we are satisfied of. And I will end by taking you to Bello, because that is where my father came from. I was born in Fendong and I grew up in Bello. In Bello, because the Anglophone crisis, we can say we are not in the Anglophone crisis. The Anglophone crisis is not solved, but it's finished. We are now in settlement of scores, because I will give you one reason, fundamental reason, that there is no more Anglophone crisis. We have settlement of scores, but the Anglophone problem has not yet been solved. That's why I'm writing that book.
Problem? What is the Anglophone problem?
The Anglophone problem is the marginalization of English-speaking population from the northwest and the southwest, from the former British Southern Cameroon. The Anglophone question is the sentiment of marginalization, while the Amazonian crisis is the expression of the sentiment of marginalization of the Anglophone problem by an armed conflict. So, these three different dimensions of the Anglophone crisis have not yet all been solved. Yet, we have been diverted to settlement of scores. Right now, at the Bamenda Central Prison, we have somebody who was brought in from Senegal because a mayor was shot dead by Amber Boys. And a group of people were sent to prison with no proof, saying that they killed the mayor, yet manipulated by elite. And I come back to elite. Why is it that elites are blocking President Paul Biya to solve the Anglophone crisis? Elites have taken Mr. Otto Tingum and others to the Bamenda Central Prison from Bello, where my father comes from. There are about 8 of them. Because of why? Because somebody in Yaoundé, an elite, wants to be eating fat from the Bello Council.
So you are saying the elites are behind the
Yes,
crisis?
yes, the
They don't
elites.
want it to end.
I have an example.
The elite
Yes, the elites are behind.
from the northwest and south.
From the north and south, they're eating fat, and I'm giving an example that there is Otto Tingum in the Bamenda Central Prison with others accused of killing the mayor, because those in Yaoundé who are elite from Boyo Division are eating fat from the council, and they want to put aside. This name I'm calling is a deputy mayor. So he was on exile because
In Senegal?
the elite paid.
He was in Senegal.
Yes, he was in Senegal. Elite paid Amber Boys to kill him and ran for Senegal. And when they killed the mayor, the elite asked that they should bring him and put it in a Bamenda Central Prison. So I'm calling the attention of the authorities that I continue to say that elites are behind the Anglophone crisis.
We are fed up with the Anglophone crisis. We want things to come back to normalcy. Since 2016, people are being kidnapped. People have become IDPs in their own homeland. People have become refugees. Colleges destroyed, properties destroyed, and so on and so forth. Today, we are not talking the Anglophone crisis. I want us to watch this video where the Northwest Funds have made Samuel Eto'o Fils Cameroon's goal getter, and of course, the president of the Cameroon's Football Federation, Tumfo. Can we have this video before we come back?
Also to inform we have it funds from Northwest region and the population of Northwest region in general. We, some of the funds from Northwest region came from Mesa, Momo, Yogaman, accompany our colleagues the funds of fishing to welcome you with Spanish today. We want to express the joy of the entire population of Northwest region. And we want to say, thank you for your kindness, thank you for your simplicity, thank you.
Normally, the funds are the custodians of our traditions and cultures. It's true that we have a chief here, our chief, Ernest Akufo. Ernest Akufo, Samuel Eto'o feast decorated by Northwest Funds. What is your take? It deserves decoration?
I look at all of that to be cacophony. It's cacophony, bamboozling, and the desecration of the tradition of a people. Why do I say so? I say so because I have nothing against Samuel Eto'o. Yes, we should know that. But I want to ask, at this point in time, with all of what is happening in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon, what is the contribution of Samuel Eto'o to arrest this situation? Has he ever been there officially to say, okay, my people, how do we go about this? You give him that title on what basis? Well, you take the past glories, you bring it now, when people are suffering, people are dying. This is an aberration that at this point in time, when people are looking for the way out to the crisis, where people are being killed, where property is being rampaged, you go on giving titles to people.
Can we have some of the images of Samuel Eto'o who is being decorated?
Tabby Clarkson, my heart bleeds. It bleeds because I don't want to use a certain adjectives on our chiefs and funds. It may fall on me, but it is regrettable.
What is the significance of Tumfo?
In principle, Tabby Clarkson, in the grass field, before ever you are decorated or distinguished or anointed or ignobled or knighted, you must have realized an exploit. That is what the culture
exploit within the community,
within that community, but gradually this ennoblement and knighting has been put to the marketplace. Permit me say that. Any Tom, Dick, Harry, when you have your small brown envelope, you can sail through. It's a pity.
But I know that there is one Tumfo Nico Hale.
I never wanted to be more particular about any Tumfo Nico Hale, but since you want me to talk about it, I'll talk about it. Did you know how he came about that? He was making peace. Because before his enthronement, his knighting, the Northwest region by then was war-torn. Villages were fighting against villages, clans against clans. Even within villages, people were fighting. He took up, and that he has been doing now for more than 30 years, and said, I can't sit and see my people get down into ruin. He went bringing the peace to the people. And when time came, the funds gathered at the Queen Palace and said, you are our messenger, Tumfo Barrister Nico Hale.
Okay. Professor Edmond Bilowa, Samuel Eto'o feast decorated by Northwest Funds. You follow that information. Are you surprised that he is now a Tumfo in the Northwest, Samuel Eto'o?
No, I'm not surprised. Because he has been around the country getting titles. I believe that he went to the north.
Yes.
I don't know what it means, to get a title. Maybe he has been doing things underneath, things that we don't see openly. Because, he can promise to build schools or build hospitals, do certain things for the community, you know, or maybe give scholarships to students from the village or from the community. If he does that, or if he promises to do that, then he can be rewarded by a title, something like that.
Okay, you are a son from the Barman King. How are titles being bestowed on people there in the Barman King?
No, in where I come from, titles are given on a family basis. If your father had a title, you can inherit the title. If your mother had a title, you can inherit the title. All right, that is the way it works.
Because Ernest Akufo was talking of it has become a business issue, a monetary affair. Do you think some people use money to have titles?
But I'm not aware of things like that where I come from.
Okay.
So I cannot talk about what happens
elsewhere,
what obtains elsewhere.
Okay. With us equally, we have Dr. Cho.
Yes.
A word on this. Samuel Etofis, decorated by the funds from the Northwest. Where you come from?
Yes, the Northwest funds have deceived me. They have deceived me because I don't think the community of the Grassfield has come down too low to give titles to people who have not really fulfilled the modalities to get those titles. I think money can do everything. I'm a son of a chief. My father was a chief. Before you can be Tumfo, which is Tumfoy, in the Com community from Boy Division where I come from, you must have been a family head. That's the first step. Being a family head. When you are a family head, you have children. You call for a traditional ceremony. You give food, people eat. You slaughter maybe goats and fowls. And then in another season, you call for another ceremony before they can give you a red feather. That's how you start claiming. You claim and you reach the palace. And now you become what we call Enchinto. Chinto is just like a notable. They give you a house at the palace. You live there. And then before now you can become the funds messenger, which is Tumfo. So for me, Samuel Etofis just becoming suddenly in Tumfo is because of his title and because of his money.
Money? Huh?
His title as an international football star.
Yeah.
But I have a worry. We have not heard him say anything since the beginning of the Anglophone crisis. I don't know whether he likes Anglophones, but seeing him given a title in the Anglophone region, I doubt Tabi. I doubt seriously.
And we have the images. We have the images. The images are there.
No. I think that traditional titles in the Northwest now have become business. Even in my community, in the Com community, to have a red feather, there is a price. When our phone comes in Yaoundé, there are people who go around making advertisement that you want to have a red feather, you want to be this, give this amount, give this amount. I think business has come into our culture, and our culture is dying down because of it. And we are seeing example with Samuel Etofis. I don't have any problem with Samuel Etofis, but I know he's an international football star, he's a billionaire, but he should not humiliate our funds of the Northwest like this.
So money can do anything? That is what you are saying?
Tabi Klassen.
Yes.
Permit me chip in something again. You see, what is in a name? That's the $1 million question. What is in a name? Does it suffice to be say to say you are Ntumfoy? No. No, I say no. I think that as Doctor was rightly saying, bearing the name is shouldering the circumstances, bearing the weight of that name. You can have as many as how many Tumfoy or Tumfoyns or what, but what have you done? What can you do? He was saying there is a process. Obviously there is a process. You don't get up from your bed one morning and then you become Tumfoy. No. Internationally, Samuel has done it. In Cameroon, well, we're still putting him on the scale. But as he ended up by saying, the traditional titles have been reduced.
That is why our chiefs are not respected today.
I say traditional titles have been reduced to the barest minimum and
Ernest Akufo.
Yes.
That chiefs are not respected today as
They are drinking
well,
bath.
some chiefs not respect it because they have made themselves stooped low down there. So we're calling on them that that is the lone thing that still remains of our culture and tradition, ennobling, knighting. But when you take it to the marketplace, it becomes useless and valueless.
Okay, Samuel Eto'o feast has been decorated by Norwest Funds. He is now a tomb for. We wish him well. We shall take another issue, that of Martinez Zogo. Martinez Zogo, 2 years on today. It was, of course, on the 17th of January that he was actually kidnapped. And then some few days later, we discovered, 5 days later precisely, we discovered that he was brutally killed by his kidnappers. The matter is in court. It's true that matters that are in court are not supposed to be on a table for debate. We are not debating. We are just saying that 2 years today, Martinez Zogo is no longer there. But let's have this report on Martinez Zogo before we come back. The report.
This January 17, 2025 marks a somber anniversary for Cameroonians as they remembered the tragic death of renowned radio host Martinez Zogo. Media professionals and colleagues of Martinez Zogo gathered to pay tribute to his memory, expressing their ongoing pain and grief. His colleagues highlighted the significant impact he had on the Cameroonian media landscape and the great void he left behind. As a compatriot and a Republican like Martinez Zogo, we have remained calm and serene. It's been 2 years that we have been waiting. Can you imagine having a body in the mortuary for 2 years? It's been painful. It's been tough. In the village, it's tough. The family suffers, friends suffer. Even here at the radio station, we are working at half capacity. 2 years later, it's still difficult for us, as Martinez Zogo belonged to a close-knit family, a professional family. You see, it's not easy for us to work under these conditions, knowing that Martinez has been in the mortuary for 2 years. Cameroonians also reflect on the state of press freedom and the safety of journalists in the country. Many expressed concerns about the lack of progress in investigating Martinez Zogo's death and bringing those responsible to justice. There is a lot of desolation and disappointment because when we talk about 2 years, we are talking about 730 days, 24 months, 104 weeks that Martinez Zogo's loved ones, both his professional and nuclear family, have been waiting for justice. Beyond the fact that justice is slow, it's unbearable for those who are still waiting for answers. However, some adjustments have taken place to fill the void of the former famous presenter of the program Embouteillage. When I started a few months ago, I was taught by my collaborators, the program director, and my colleagues who tried to guide me, support me so that this program could succeed, and we are moving forward, and I think it's going rather well. As Cameroonians continue to mourn the loss of Martinez Zogo, they also reiterate their commitment to upholding the values of press freedom and journalistic integrity that he embodied. Meanwhile, the next hearing is scheduled for February 3rd, 2025.
Professor Edmond Bilowa, Martinez Zogo, 2 years on. What is your take?
Well, we are still waiting for the judgment to take place. it is not so bad that it has taken so long, because I think that now passion has gone down a little bit, and therefore the judgment can be passed on with serenity. Yeah, because there was too much passion. So I think that the judges in the courtroom can now do the job without any outside pressure.
2 years on, Martinez Zogo, Dr. Cho Waters.
Yes, let's say that it's rather unfortunate that Martinez Zogo is still at the mortuary. I want to wish him and the family may the soul rest in perfect peace. We have to know that our justice is acting in conformity of our constitution, our penal code, and the criminal procedure code. So while waiting for the justice, we can just give some comments that a criminal affair concerning intelligence service is not something that can be solved within days or maybe within months. It has to take long, because we have the head of intelligence service in prison, and we have some elements and the business people in prison. So I am asking Cameroonians just to be patient, because justice will be done. We don't want justice denied, it's justice delayed. Or justice delayed is justice denied. That is a principle in the law of thoughts, because justice delayed is justice denied. That's why I said.
But yeah, justice is not denied anyway.
No, justice is delayed.
Yeah, but
justice
yeah,
delayed.
But yeah, it is not denied anyway.
I said there is a course at the University of Yaoundé.
Yeah, justice delayed is justice denied.
Delayed is justice denied.
Yeah.
And from my experience of watching criminal issues in documentaries abroad, I found out that to delay a case is to boil it down and kill it, so that we should no more hear about it. That is how criminal affairs are handled. If you want to kill a case,
don't
you
you
want
think
to.
Martinez Zogo?
No, I've not said. I've not said that's the same case.
Okay.
I'm saying from my experience.
Yeah.
When they want to close a case, they delayed it for a longer period of time. So we just hope that the justice will be done, because I put myself too in the position of the family. You know, President Pobi is a legalist, and he has always said, if the people are guilty, if they are found guilty, they will be condemned. So let's wait for the moment to come, and I believe that it
Let's
should be
wait
so.
for the moment to come. Enes Akufo, Martinez Zogo.
Yes, Martinez Zogo. It's rather a pity that we're still talking about Martinez Zogo with the carcass still in the cold house. As Dr. ended by saying that justice delayed is denied. Yes, there's no gainsaying about that. Because once you delay justice, it means you've denied justice. Yes, that's you psychologically you torture.
But it's 2 years too long.
Yes, it's too long.
What's delaying the case? Because there are undertones in the whole issue. The stakes are high, because it involves a whole chain of people whom, if all of them are exposed, it means the republic is at stake. Well, we just hope that February 3rd, when the hearings will resume, may it be hastened, because I feel for the family.
We all feel for the family.
And Tabi Clarkson, I want to tell you, I know the family more particularly. Yes, I've been interacting with them. There is a lot of mystery and misery around them, so much so that I feel bad. Yes, I feel they feel lonely, they feel dejected, and oh God, help Cameroon.
Anyway, Martinez Zogo used to be my colleague, former colleague at the level of Radio Tiemini Siantu. We worked together for almost 7 years. We were together when he left Siantu and went to Magic FM before moving on to Amplitude FM. May the soul of Martinez Zogo continue to rest in perfect peace. 2 years in a cold house is not all that easy, but then justice, as somebody said here, we all know that justice delayed is justice denied. But this delayance should be for a just cause. Well, we shall now move on to our two major topics of the day. We are talking the media and debate. The National Communication Council wants professionalism I'll begin with you, Professor Elmon Bilowa, once again. Joe Chebonken Kalabupse, the boss of the National Communication Council, thinks that that journalists are not professional as he wants them to be, and he thinks that some media houses are out there to actually encourage violence, to insult personalities, and so on and so forth. What is your take today on the media landscape when it comes to debate, be it on radio, be it on TV? Prof. Elmon Bilowa.
Well, let me say that I'm not a specialist of the field.
Yes.
But at least I'm a consumer of the field. Because I listen to the radio, I watch television, and I read newspapers.
Of course.
Okay. And I have the feeling that, unfortunately, your field is full of people who are not trained, who never attended a journalism school, and therefore they are not versed in the deontology of the profession. Okay? And that is why you see some of those things that are going on, where they can publish almost anything on anybody, and it is being said that you know, if you just give somebody an envelope and you tell him insult X, the person will take the envelope and publish a paper on you or say something about you without checking the facts. You know, because in journalism, in science, as a matter of fact, before you say something, you must check the facts. Okay, so I think that one of the reasons why this is so is because, you know, there is a test that says that, a legal test that says that if you work in a media house for a number of years, that qualifies you to be a journalist. Okay, but I am very disgruntled by that viewpoint, because if you work in the hospital, nobody will say that you are a medical doctor, or that you are
because I've been there for some years,
or you are a nurse. All right. If you work in the construction industry, nobody will say that you are an engineer. Okay. Those things happen in social sciences and social sciences fields and human sciences fields, where they believe that almost anybody can talk about anything, right? If you are a graduate of a university, all of a sudden you can go to a media house, you know, and you know that in a media house there are many things that you can do. Are you an editorialist, or are you somebody who does chronicles? Are you able to do reports on an event in the field? If your director tells you, I need a report for, you know, 3 minutes, can you do it? And so on and so forth. That is why I believe that they have to change that text. They have to change that legal document. For you to become a journalist, you must go to a journalism school. Yes, you must go to a journalism school. You cannot be an engineer if you did not go to an engineering school. You cannot be a medical doctor if you did not go to a medical school. You cannot be a lawyer if you did not study law. You cannot be an economist if you did not study economics. And you see, those people that you see who did not attend journalism school, sometimes when after they graduate from the university, they go and attend, you know, a crash course on maybe communication or journalism. Okay? That way, because they already have a university background, it is much easier for them to catch up on what is required to be a journalist. So we need to think about it. We need to think about it. Okay. The field is open to all sorts of people who are not qualified to be in the field.
Ernest Akufo?
Tabi Clarkson, that situation is very preoccupying. Very preoccupying in the sense that, you see, of recent, citizen journalism has taken center stage. And as Prof was rightly saying, you can't out of a sudden become a journalist because you are dealing with you're in a media house and you didn't practice journalism. So all of those things, they count. And you see, getting back to your topic proper very tightly, it indicates that not only the journalists not professional in their performances, but the panel equally do it with a lot of passion. Yes, because some panelists, they get to the plateau and they are not versed with what the topic is all about, and they come from home with preconceived ideas and they voice them out, which is not appropriate. Added to that, you see, Gumbo journalism too has stepped in. Yes, there is no gainsaying about that.
Maybe the working conditions of journalists have pushed them to become Gumbo journalists.
Yes, that's why I say Gumbo journalism has stepped in too, because when you look at some of the captions of tabloids, you begin to ask yourself, but every day I do a comparative study of captions of tabloids. You may find some tabloids having about 4 or 5 having the same captions. I begin to ask myself, are all of them of the same media group, such that they communicate it with each other that, okay, this is what we put up. So all of those things, they contribute. The chairman of the president of the National Communication Council, Joseph Chebonkem Kalabopse, is he is an old hand at journalism. He studied journalism, practiced journalism, not only at a very low level but at a high level until he is where he is today. So if he says that, he is saying en connaissance de cause, like the French would say it. He knows fully well what he is talking about. I think the major preoccupation here
but yet too, when Joe is talking, he is talking about the debates.
Obviously,
the debates. Do you think that the debates are professionally done, organized, be it by the journalists, be it even by those we invite, because it's not all that easy?
Tabi, it is a two-way traffic. When you have a journalist who is partisan in coordinating his programs, because there is one thing we must mention, I would like to mention. I want to believe that journalists should be some of the people in the society who should be objective and avoid being partisan. But when you watch or listen to some media organs and you hear how some of the journalists, they coordinate their programs, be it radio or television programs, you see they are partisan, either or pro-government or anti-government. So you begin to see that is where the bone of contention lies.
Okay.
Yes, and when you do that, because some of the journalists, before they do that, the people they invite on set already know that this journalist is pro or anti. So when they're coming on stage, they already know, since he is pro, this is how I'll handle him. Since he's anti, this is where I'm going to handle him. Whereas, if the journalist was objective, I think their debates will be free flow without any extrapolations. Because some of the panelists extrapolate. I don't want to name them.
Okay.
Yes. Just an instance. When we returned from Qatar in the World Cup, which held in Qatar, I happen to have followed a debate. I don't want to name the media house. Professors were insulting each other on the panel. I looked at it, I said, but
when professors too come on panel and then they start insulting
the journalists,
it becomes problematic. Professor
now it means that now it means that that is why Mr. Joe Chobonkom says, before you invite panels on your set, know that they are capable of handling the topic you are bringing on board.
Okay, Dr. Cho, we are talking media and debates.
Yes, I've been on the media since 2007 at Abakwa FM. I was in a journalism club. I'm not a journalist today because it was not my destiny, but I was in a journalism club with some of my classmates who are journalists today.
You can always become a journalist.
Yes. And,
specializing in economics.
yeah, you are right. You are right. I grew up in the field. And I've seen what is going on. What sustains journalism is money. If you have money, you can draw some journalists into your house and manipulate them to say what you want.
That's the right word you are using.
That is exactly what is happening. I'm not exposing you people journalists. Just for
That's why I
me.
talked about
Fortunately, all of them are
Yeah.
not like that.
Yes. Not all. I didn't say all. Majority, let's say majority of them. I know that a radio announces, a television shows the images, and the newspaper explains. That's what I know in journalism. Look at the tabloids. Look at the news hour and debates every Sunday, on weekends and during the week. Listen to our radios. Are they doing what the National Communication Council has said? No. Joe Kebonge Kalabu said, I knew him when he was inviting me at the CRTV. He was a journalist at the CRTV. He used to invite me on Press R. I've worked with Joe Kebonge Kalabu. Said, he's not lying. He's somebody that I know very well, personally. He has not lied. I want to say that, let me say, I wish to say that some journalists are on mission. Some journalists are on mission. David Clarkson, do you know why I only come to Camdis? I'm not going anywhere else in Cameroon. Because you people are not on mission. You people are doing the right job.
The Republican television.
That's why they call the Republican television. You people are doing the right job. Some televisions have problems with it because they wanted me to change my convictions. I said, I cannot. Those media houses have been introverted with egoism and egocentric strategy of managing their affairs. They invite only their friends on Sundays. They invite only people of certain communities on Sundays. I want to give an example. I don't know whether you disprove me. Do you know any media house that invites somebody from an English-speaking region every 2 times or once a month? Do you know? Let me go to the next question.
Anyway, that one is rhetorical. Eh?
Yes, rhetorical. You don't need to answer. You don't need to answer.
It needs no answer.
Yeah.
Is it right? Is it right that a TV station invites people of the same community to attack another community, and you don't want the National Communication Council to talk? They have to come out. There are other media houses. Their role is that they should insult ministers. They should insult the president. Can you imagine that in the tabloid you see a caption? The Minister of Communication is under arrest. Meanwhile, he's in his office. He's going with daily activity. The tabloid say the minister
under arrest.
Yes, that is under arrest. Why the minister is in his office? We should be very serious. I think that there are some measures that need to be closed before presidential election, because they will be instruments of destabilization, and that is why now the time has come for National Communication Council to give out red cards to those media. And that's why I've told you that I have run away from so many radio stations, so many media houses. I'm only coming to Camdis television, that's a Republican television, because I cannot change my conviction. I am here to edify the public and say what is right and what is in me. You cannot force me to love somebody. You cannot force me to say what I don't want to. And you know, I've been arrested several times because those media houses were forcing me to change my conviction. So I go to where there is truth. Your friends, invite all your friends.
Republicans, we at the level of Camdis television. Can we have these reports, the 2 reports on the National Communication Council before we come back? The reports.
The National Communication Council of Cameroon has launched a comprehensive 188-page media map presented by Secretary General Professor Jean Tobihon. This initiative aims to provide a detailed overview of the country's media landscape, promoting transparency, accountability, and inclusivity.
Our objective was not to create an awareness of where you have media concentrations or not. We just wanted to see who is operating within the media landscape in the country. And that's the work we focused on and came out with the findings which we have. And it's now left to policymakers, those who attribute licenses, to be able to see what to do with the statistics we have put to the public, and also an understanding of the realities of the media landscape in the country. Council, we think that it is part of our duty to be able to know who is doing what in the media landscape, which we are called to regulate.
The media map highlights the geographical locations of various media outlets across the country, including newspapers, TV stations, radio stations, and online media outlets.
In the Southwest, for example, we have many televisions, but most of those television stations are religious channels. And so it tells you the impact of Nigeria, neighboring Nigeria, to Cameroon. And these statistics to us is important because we can now say with some degree of precision who is operating in the country and where. The of the media map is extremely important to the National Communication Council, and also the details of what the media organs are doing, like the switch over of commercial community radio stations to commercial radio stations, and the involvement of community radio stations in political programs, which is out of their roadmap. We'll do a review every 1 or 2 years to be able to see which one has fizzled out of the scene and which one has been created.
Key statistics reviewed in the media map include 760 legally approved newspapers, 232 regular print media organs, 93 TV stations, and 129 commercial radio stations. These numbers demonstrate the diversity and complexity of Cameroon's media sector. Representatives from various media outlets received a copy of the publications, acknowledging the importance of these resources in promoting a more inclusive and diverse environment for media practitioners. The launch of the Cameroon Media Map marks a significant milestone in the country's effort to promote transparency, accountability in the media sector. This initiative is expected to have a positive impact on the media landscape, fostering a more inclusive, diverse environment for all stakeholders.
Well, we are talking the media and debate. We are concluding on this topic, Professor Edmond Bilowa. You said a while ago that journalists have to go to school.
Yeah, education is key.
Yeah, education
is key.
But there is also somebody who thinks that best teachers are not those who went to ENS. Do you share that opinion with that person? It's not because you went to ENS that you are a good teacher.
Yes,
It's true.
but the reality is that you must go to school. The reality is that you must go to school. There are you have a number of people who studied English, you know, and then after a while, after working in a media house, you know, after undergoing crash courses and so on, they became top star journalists. Okay, we have a guy like Jack Tapper at CNN, right? He was a CNN correspondent in Afghanistan, and now he's a very good journalist. He studied literature at USC, University of Southern California, where I studied, but a long time after, a long time after me. All right, but the thing is that you must always study something. You must always study something about the field in which you want to work. You must always study something. All right, we cannot encourage our children,
Not to go to school.
our brothers, to get up one morning and say that they are journalists when they did not undergo the training of journalism. Okay, so education is very important, and education should be a continuous process, right? Even when you are working in the media house,
Can we have our topic on the
you
screen,
have
please?
never been to a journalism school, you can still go and attend some courses in the School of Journalism. That will make you a better professional. Okay, that is what we are saying.
Okay.
So the council, which
The National Communication Council.
the National Communication Council, which George Bonken Kalabuse is heading, should organize courses all over the country. You know, encouraging people who have not gone to a journalism school to come and attend these courses so that they can become better professionals, so that they can manage, they can master the journalism deontology.
Yes, Ernest Akufo, you wanted to react a while ago. Well,
Yes, the first question you asked, Professor, as per whether you must go through a school of education before you can be a good teacher. Tabi Klassen, I'll tell you, not everybody that goes through school, that school goes through the person. Yes. It's not like I'm being volatile. You may get some doctors, professors, but when you want to look at them, they'll be wanting somewhere. Yes, they'll be one thing. You begin to cast doubts. Hey, they say that's a doctor. They say that's a professor. I very much doubt. So the modus operandi, the deontology, is the key to everything. Because if you don't know that, this is how you have to practice journalism, which is the art of collecting, treatment, and broadcasting information. If you don't know that act, I don't see how you are going to be performant in what you're doing. Same too with teachers. You must know how do you go about your lessons. If you don't know that, well, I don't see how you become a good teacher. So it's a whole debate anyway, because as Prof rightly said, that one of the best journalists at CNN today didn't go through the School of Journalism, but practiced. This is a whole debate altogether. I think the bottom line is, when you
should stop gumbo.
Yeah, no, not even gumbo journalism, because even either the quack journalist or the real journalists are all involved in gumbo journalism. Yes, it's verifiable, because you can't cover an event.
But we are talking debates too here. Debates too are not only meant. Not only the journalists are doing debates. We have professors, as we said a while ago.
Yes,
who are insulting others.
That's why I say after
Some of these professors are ashamed to the profession.
Thank God,
Professor.
thank God, Professor.
I would like Elbon Below, Professor Elbon Below.
Please, Prof, can you
Yes,
expand
so
this?
professors are
A
insulting others.
professor should be a role model
Correct.
because he's educating the younger generation of the population. But when the behavior of the professor is shameful, okay, he's no longer a role model.
God.
And I'm very, I'm so unhappy to say that some of my colleagues cannot be role models, right? Because they behave like people who never attended any school. They behave like people who have no morality at all.
God.
Okay, all right, and I believe that media houses should stop inviting these people for debates.
Correct.
Because what is the message? The message will be that younger people will believe that it is good to insult people, it's good to threaten to beat people, okay, and that is not normal. Because the media is also there
To educate.
to instruct.
Tabi Klassen, thank God, thank you very much, Professor, because I thought I were extrapolating. Because when I look at it at times, I feel jittery. I say to myself, no, but they say that's a professor? No, he doesn't reflect a professor. Thank God, Professor was there to buttress what I'm saying. So, as he landed well. You people, the responsibility falls back on the journalist. You make a good choice of your panel. When you make a good choice of your panel, you have a beautiful program. The president of National Communication Council will not come on your throat again to say, Mr. Tabi Klassen and the Republican debate, I will suspend you on air. You go, you don't broadcast for 2 months. Mr. President, use your sledgehammer. Use it well. Else, between now and October 2025, there is a lot of electricity in the air.
A lot of electricity. Dr. Cho, professors insulting journalists, insulting other panelists on platforms. What is your take on that?
That disgrace to the professional
field.
professional field, because I don't think that I can start insulting people. People said that I've once insulted, but I was not insulting. People took it as an insult because one time I was in a debate and somebody did not cooperate with me, and so they said, no, I don't insult. A professor should not insult. A professor criticizes. He or she does not insult. What those professors are doing, my comment is that they're just a shame, they're a disgrace. They are no longer to be, they should be excluded from the universities where they lecture. Yes, because what will your students sit at home and see you insulting somebody on the part? It's not even good, because a professor is not only a role model, but we can say that a professor is like somebody who has attained the highest level of intellectuality. That's the wise. He's in the council of the wise, so he should be the one to advise those who are down there, not insulting. But in Cameroon, some professors that insult, I think that they should go to the hospital for checkup. Yes.
They should go to the hospital for
Psychiatrists.
checkup.
Yes, should go meet
So the advice that you are giving now is what?
Some professors, they have either the first hypothesis, either those professors, they have problems, they have traditional problems that they have not resolved. Secondly, they have mental health issues. Or thirdly, they are settling some political scores. If these hypotheses are not put on the table, then you might not know whether they are mad or they are still in this world.
No, God forbid.
It's true that
I think that
Yes,
excuse me, the National Communication Council
yes.
should punish media houses that keep on inviting these people who are
Yes, that's a
insulting
good-
others,
that's a good
who are
solution.
causing havoc on the
media.
in the media during the debates.
Okay, Prof. I want to take it this another way. Universities where those professors are lecturing cannot also sanction those professors.
They should be sanctioned.
That's what we
They should
say.
be sanctioned.
It's possible.
They should be sanctioned. And the possibility is there.
Well-
if you behave in such a way that the university will be ashamed of you, the university can sanction you.
Correct.
Tabi will have a clerical example of one professor from the Catholic University. He went on a media and said something that was against the internal rules and regulations of that Catholic University, and he was called for attention. He was called up
Yes.
to explain why he said that on that panel. And I think if this can continue with other universities, the insult will be down.
Debates are meant to construct them. Debates are meant to build the republic.
And Tabi class,
especially
Tabi,
we are
mind
in
you,
an electoral year. Yes, NS.
mind you, I just want to have this to say: we learn in debates. We don't win debates.
Good. Thank you. That's it.
We learn,
Yes. That's
especially as learning is
A continuous process.
a continuous process. Well, we still have 20 minutes, and we shall take those 20 minutes to discuss
no.
on elections, politics, and religion. Our next topic after the jingle. Elections, politics, religion, our second major topic of the day and the last one for this program. I'll begin with you, Prof. Edmond Bulowa. 2025 seems to be a decisive year. Some will put it even a crucial year. But we know that after 2025, Cameroon will still continue. Cameroonians will still be living in Cameroon. So tell us, what is your take for 2025 when we are talking elections, we are talking politics, we are talking religion? Prof. Edmond Bulowa.
Well, 2025 is we are going to hold two elections. the regional elections
and the presidential,
elections. Everybody is focused on the presidential elections because, as a matter of fact, the president of the republic is politically the most important personality in the land,
country,
yeah.
in the country. All right. So, of course, the election is going to create a lot of tensions. Passions are going to arise, and so on and so forth. I think that we can call on each other to be very good citizens, to be very good countrymen, to discuss, to debate, but not to fight. All right?
Not to insult?
Not to insult. Okay? We must debate about ideas, and so on and so on and so forth. In the meantime, we should work in our own parties to make sure that as our parties are implemented where we want to win. Because if you are not implemented nationwide, how can you win if you are not implemented nationwide? How can you win if you don't do the job that you are supposed to do, that is explaining to citizens what is your political program, what you are going to do for the people, what you are going to do in order to solve the problems that people are facing in their day-to-day life, and so on and so forth. I represent the CPDM party here, and I think that we at the CPDM party, we are working day and night, every day, to make sure that we are still attested in every council of the Republic, in every municipality of the Republic, in every division of the Republic, in every village of the Republic. We want to be attested there, and we are making sure that our militants and those who sympathize for the CPDM party register, that they register in order to vote. Because one thing is to register, another thing is to go and vote. So we are teaching them to register and to make sure that come elections time, they have to go and vote.
Well, elections, politics, and religion, is true that I'm still with you.
Yes.
Some bishops have come out of recent, and they have made certain declarations. Some are even calling on the devil to come in, and that we shall see later. What is your take on that? Where we see bishops coming out to call on the people, maybe to designate a particular candidate. What is your take on that?
Okay, first of all, the religion is part of society. Religion is part of society, and historically, religions have always mingled with politics. All right, maybe all of you here on this set, you are very young, but people my age know that Ndogmo had a problem with Ahidjo.
Yes.
Because he criticized Ahidjo.
Bishop Dogmo.
Yeah, Bishop Ndogmo. And it was because Ahidjo did not want to send him to jail, he went to exile in Canada. All right? So you see that everywhere in South America, the Catholic Church is always criticizing governments. You see that nearby in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Catholic Church is is sometimes called to make sure that people can understand each other. All right. In fact, as a matter of fact, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Catholic Church is sometimes called to be the referee. To be the referee, right? In a context where political parties cannot get along very well, the Catholic Church can be called in order to be the referee.
But what do you have to say?
But what I have to say is that as far as the Catholic Church is concerned, you see, the Vatican is a state.
Of course.
It's a state. And the Vatican is represented in Cameroon by bishops. So bishops, to a certain extent, are representatives and ambassadors of the Vatican in Cameroon. Okay. When bishops start criticizing the government of Cameroon, it sounds as if
The Vatican is
the
criticizing.
state of Vatican, the Vatican state, is criticizing another state. Whereas we have a common law, in constitutional law, in public law, that says that you should not interfere in the matters of another state,
A sovereign state. for that matter.
in matters of a sovereign state. But I like the way the Cameroonian government has handled the case. All right, they just say that okay, there is no problem between bishops, the Catholic Church or any church, because they did not talk about any church. They not talked about religions. There is no problem between the state and any religion in Cameroon. Okay, so what I'm saying is that people can express their opinions because they, after all,
They are part of the society.
They are part of society. After all, they are citizens of Cameroon. But these opinions must be based on reality, on law, right? Because when a bishop says that President Paul Biya should not take part in the next presidential election, there is no law in Cameroon that prevents him from taking part in the presidential election. The constitution says that you are elected and you can stand for elections anytime you want to stand for election. In his own party, if you are the president of the party, you can stand for election.
You are a natural
So
candidate.
when the bishop say, when a given bishop says that President Paul Biya should not stand for election, his opinion is based on what? Right? It is not based on the text that regulate the running of the country. It is not based on the laws of the country. It is a personal opinion that does not commit the state of Vatican, the Vatican state. It's a personal opinion. Because you see, when bishops meet, as far as the Catholic Church is concerned, they can issue a statement, and that statement commit all bishops.
Like their meeting recently in Boya.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
they
in
came
Boya.
out with a press release, of course.
A press release. Then that press release commit all Catholic bishops in Cameroon. But if a bishop goes to his church and says something, it does not commit.
And Andrew Kia made it clear, the Archbishop for Bamenda made it clear that a bishop cannot and should not designate a presidential candidate. Yes, Ernest Akufo?
Thank you, Tabi Clarkson. I want to say those three words you brought up there are interwoven. Interwoven because you cannot dissociate one from the other. Politics, elections, and the church, and religion.
Yeah.
Those who do politics are Christians of the church. And those Christians of the church, they take part in elections. You see where I say the interwoven?
Yeah.
The Holy See, as Professor was rightly saying, the Holy See, the Vatican, is an entity, and being, we know the religion of the Holy See, which is Catholicism, and which is believed to be the religion of the world. So the outings of some bishops proud to the National Episcopal Council in Boya, I would like to say, as Prof did say, was a personal opinion as per the bishops, and they have a right to their opinion. Thank God government officials came out to debunk that opinion, that is not what the president said. The electricity we have in the air, Tabi Clarkson, like an election management expert by training, because I did that training for 3 years. It's as a result of the fact that the level playing ground is not there. It's a call, a clarion call for election stakeholders to sit up. Because it's not only political parties, government officials,
Civil society?
the civil society, the citizens themselves. Yeah, because there can never be elections without the citizens.
Of course.
Because the political party chairs or head or leaders, they cannot vote for themselves.
Everybody has to sit up.
When I say the stakeholders, that is the ensemble. And thank God, the National Communication Council again is on it. Mr. President, kudos. I want to say, Tabby Clarkson, elections is a process. And what is a process? The process of educating your militants as per the fact that they're supposed to register. The process of seeing that they register and collect their electoral cards. The process of seeing that on the day of vote, they go and cast their vote. The process of seeing that they participate in counting the votes. The process of ensuring that they are there when the results of that polling station are proclaimed. Let me just end there without going right to the declaration.
Even in the villages,
everywhere.
Where there is a polling station, they should be there.
Everywhere. Let me end there because it goes to right post-election period. That is still the process. Let me end where I end it. To say that there is the lack of political education in Cameroon. Professor is there, he's a politician, he knows what I'm talking about. The citizens don't know why they vote. They vote because I like Tabby Clarkson. Has Tabby Clarkson gotten a political program which he presents, which I can buy? That is where I say elections is not war. It is the selling of the political program. What is in your political program which the people will have? And can it shouldn't be politicneering, wherein people who want to come on stage, you know, politicians are demagogues. Tabby Clarkson, yes, you must know that, because they will tell you, okay, I will buy you bread from the chemist. Do they say bread in the chemist? You see, when they speak on the platform there, the people just clap, yeah, he has said you buy bread from the chemist. So there is the lack of political education between now and when the electoral commission will be summoned. That can be done. I think the most thing which political party leaders should do now when they go on panel is try to educate.
Education, political education is very important.
Yes.
Dr. Chu,
Yes.
elections, politics, religion, 2025.
Yes, what will I say? I don't have much to say, but what I can say is that in political atmosphere, the politics of 2025 in Cameroon, as I said in my chapter 11 of the book Paul Biya, The Eternal Hope of Cameroon, is going to be a decisive presidential election since independence. There is one bishop who said it's going to be historical, but I said decisive. The president also said it's a decisive mandate, but I said since independence. So this year we should be disciplined, we should be people of good morals in Cameroon, we should be citizens who behave and who knows the Republican values, because 2025 is going to be a terrible year. I'm not wishing bad luck to Cameroon, but I said the government should mobilize the security and our defense forces to see into it that peace is restored.
The advisor you are giving to Elekam, to political parties,
I will not talk
militants.
about Lekam here.
Yeah.
I will not talk about Lekam. I will just talk about general politics in Cameroon 2025. There's going to be tension. The intensity is going to be very high because of one
When you
reason.
say tension, people are scared.
When I say tension, is because the mandate is open to so many chances. Since the President Paul Biya will be 92, with another mandate will be 99, so 100. So it opens to other chances for people who say that they don't know whether he will be there or not. And so if he's there, they are going to go to prison, or they will leave Cameroon because they will not have chances. If he's not going to be there, then they can present themselves as candidate. That's why there is going to be tension, hustle and tussling. So there are those two vectors that will create the tension. Because now President Paul Biya has not yet said he will be there. And if he's there, he will be 99. He will take another mandate. And we don't know whether he will be there or will not be there. So it creates now confusion among people who want to be candidate. And that's why you see you see the nature of the point
During his
2025.
end of year address to the
There are
nation,
many logical.
Well, President Pobi has never said he will be candidate.
said he
Walter,
still-
there
Yes,
is
sir.
another logical possibilities,
Yeah.
which is that he may take a 7-year mandate, but not end it.
Yes.
Stop at midterm,
Yeah.
I know, and let somebody.
It's possible.
Let,
Yeah.
let somebody else take over, or organize another election. There are many possibilities.
There are many
That-
possibilities.
No.
Yes,
That's the
yeah,
first thing.
Yes, true. We
Let me
have 2
rapidly.
minutes. We are concluding.
Yeah,
please.
I'll conclude 1 minute.
Yeah.
Conclude 1 minute. Secondly, about bishops, I think with the conference that ended in Boya, they came out with a document of 9 pages.
Yeah.
Document of 9 pages, with 21 to 23 points that talk about economic growth, misery, and the poverty. I think that is what we retain. Other bishops that they have spoken about X or Y or A is no news to me. What is formal is that bishops gathered in Boya and they came out with a document, and that's the document that we retain. If any other bishop
And that
has
is the
spoken,
stand of the
it's
Catholic
not news
Church
to
in
me.
Cameroon.
What they say is not new.
In
But-
Boya, that is the stand of the Catholic Church in Cameroon.
Yes.
Yes, I'll end by saying this, and I'm calling to everybody that wants to be candidate. President Pobia's age is no political argument. President Pobia's longevity in power is no political argument. The only political argument is the ballot box, and we're waiting for it in October.
Okay. We are ending with Prof. Edmond Bilowa. Prof, the advice that you are giving to all political stakeholders is what for 2025?
Get ready for the election. Get ready for the election, because I'm not sure that they are getting ready for the elections. I have the feeling that they are getting ready for something else. They have to get ready for the elections. Getting ready for the elections means that you have to tell people who are for you to register and to vote, right? And then you have to make sure that your party covers the whole territory of Cameroon.
Correct.
All right, that's what I have to say.
That you have observers-
Get ready for the election. Do not get ready for war. Do not get ready for an insurrection. Get ready for the election.
Gentlemen, we say thank you for coming.
The pleasure was shared, Tabby Clarkson, and I want to say Happy New Year to Professor
Happy-
Edmond
Happy,
Bilowa.
Happy New Year to all Cameroonians who are watching us.
Happy New Year to all Cameroonians. Professor Edmond Bilowa has said it. Get ready
For the election.
for the elections.
Not
get
for
re-
something else.
not get ready for something else, because we are in a republic and we are in a democracy, and we know elections are coming up. We should prepare for elections. All they say, we at the level of Cameroonese television, we are preparing for the elections because we have to cover the elections nationwide. It's on this note of hope that all political actors, all Cameroonians, all stakeholders are preparing for the D-Day, that is the elections. Then we put an end to this another edition of the Republican debate on the Republican television. Take another appointment same time next week on the same channel. Till then we say, may the Almighty God continue to bless the Republic.